Hey guys, it's Adam from Tested. I am in Wellington, New Zealand at my friend's, the Weta workshop, alongside my centaur friend here. Now you may remember the last time I was here, we covered Weta Workshop Sculptor's Johnny Fraser-Allen's personal passion project of making the Labyrinth from Labyrinth, hand sculpting every piece of it so that he could make it at a miniature size. Well, he got a tremendous amount of positive response for that video when we posted it, and it was inspiring to him just as we were inspired by his build, and he's made a tremendous amount of progress in the intervening 18 months. Let's check out what he's done. All right, Johnny, I'm a little overwhelmed, but I think I can speak. Last time we saw you, what we saw was this, unfinished, and now it's 8 meters long.
Yeah, 16 feet.
Okay.
Now, as I say, I get a bit carried away with it. But I was so flattered with so many of the comments and stuff on the last video. I thought, well, I'm going to put a bit of serious time into finishing it. Plus, you
were telling me that the YouTube comments, you actually read the YouTube comments,
which I never do.
Terrible idea, and they were all really positive.
I think it may be the most positive collection of YouTube comments in one place. There weren't any, but it just made me feel. I felt like I wasn't just doing this as some geek with a hobby. It made me want to finish it, but I ultimately
vindicated. You were vindicated in your passion about this.
I'm doing it for me anyway, and I finished it because it's taken long enough. I don't want to play on it,
Okay, so this is actually a gaming platform.
Yes. It started off with me kind of fooling around with just wanting to have a little section of a Labyrinth that I could also use for other games that I play, like Hero Quest and stuff. So I built something that could work completely modular, but I wanted all the sculpting to be really in-depth and stuff. So there's times when I can't actually even find where I've put the walls.
You can't even see which ones are the movable walls?
Yeah, and
it fools you. That's awesome.
And so, if you're role-playing, if you've got other people playing a game, because when you're in a labyrinth, the idea is you can't figure your way around, or in a dungeon or something like that. But whoever's in control of it can fool the people into being able to pull out a wall, and so they don't automatically, from a bird's eye view, go, "Oh, I'm going there, aren't I?"
Right. And it could change.
And then all of this is completely modular, and there's walls everywhere and stuff like that. But then,
can we walk from one end to the other?
Of course, yeah. We'll talk you through it.
How this all goes.
So
so beautiful.
Well, you saw some of this forest last time, but there's not really that many realistic tabletop trees on the market. And for me, one of the things I love most about fantasy or quests or adventures is always in the forest.
Yeah.
It's Robin Hood, or it's the Ewoks. That's the stuff as a kid that I I love building tree houses and stuff. And
totally.
I've always been fascinated with trees, and I've also been I illustrate all my own books through sculpture. And one of the stories I'm telling is one called The Wandering Woods, which is where every single thing in the forest is cognizant. Like, for example, you saw this before. That's a tree, Ceratops.
He's a sentient tree.
And he's just a hill that... So the idea that... I love the idea that you could be in a small forest that you'll never find your way out of, because it's always kind of lumbering around you.
And the forest knows that you're there and is altering your perception.
And it's not necessarily harmful, but... Because I love the idea of a forest being able to protect itself from men cutting down the forest and everything like that. So all of this is modular, and all of these trees.
Oh my gosh!
But I've done them in a way that you can put them anywhere and they blend into a set.
Well, I mean, every time I look down and put my head down, it's like an entirely believable world here.
And so it starts off here with this wizard's cottage. And so I wanted a visual narrative through this that you could also play an entire campaign through.
Okay.
But also you can just mix it up and match whatever your story's done. And then you go through this kind of ruined, towery dungeon maze here, and then we get to these swamps where I've made these modular ruins.
No way! Oh my God!
And so same with this. So you've got a dungeon there. Now you can use that dungeon. Just on your tabletop as a piece of dungeon.
Yes.
And you can see inside that like that. And then, or you just stick
You can add more.
It was really important to me that this was just place and play. You didn't have to click a whole bunch of wall sections together, because that way it's seamless. Because when you put lots of wall sections together, like a lot of products do, you have so much. It's like Lego. You have so much playability, but visually you're always kind of aware that it's a play set.
You can build up or you can build out.
Right. Yeah. And I wanted something that once you just easily set it up on your table, you're ready to go game-wise, but also it visually looks like a film set.
Yeah, it really does, and I had no idea these were that modular, and these are both the same part.
Yeah. So these are the two ruins. So this is that's 7 pieces there.
Yeah.
But if you 3D print another piece of this, which you're going to be able to do, you stick it on top of this, because what I've been able to do...
Oh, it's in the stairs all the way up.
It goes all the way up, and so you can have this necromancer at the top, or some big kind of sword fight, air or flame battle like that. Yeah. But it's also completely playable for your
Dread Pirate Robertson and Neo Montoya can do their all the way up.
That's exactly right. Yeah. But also you can see, you don't need the dungeon base to make the ruins work. You can just stick them straight onto the ground.
I just found this guy. Look at that.
Everyone's a creature, yeah. So I've littered the swamp with tree creatures. So this is a stag.
Oh my God.
This guy's my favorite. This is the Tree Rex.
The Tree Rex. You've given him bigger arms. Right?
Yeah,
T-Rexes are jealous.
Yeah, exactly. This guy can actually make the bed.
He's gorgeous.
Well, and it looks like a tree from one angle, but you go around, and this one's a boar. Because visually, when I was making this, it was important to I wanted to capture all the things that inspire me in one thing. So the movies of Laika, Miyazaki movies, Jim Henson movies. I wanted to it was important that this still felt like sculpture. So it's highly detailed, but I wanted it to feel like a sculpted kind of film set. He goes anywhere. He's all right. He's not going down.
And then I'm trying to be precious about it.
Oh no, they're all made to last. And so it's a tree dragon and stuff like that. And then this moves up into so all of these hills are individually modular as well. They all, so you can set this up any way you want. Just once you're done, you can just sprinkle it with stones. I use these, you clip these off aquarium scenery and just plug them in any gap you've got, so you don't have to. Yeah. So it looks like it's a fully made thing every time, but you have the modular option to make it whatever you want when you play it. And then we get to these guys. So there's So this is the real. So this entire set is called Hagglethorn Hollow, and the whole idea behind it is that for minimal pieces you can create a different world every time. So you've got this tower here, and so you've got this thatch world that could be Conan's, Aquilonia or barbarians or Vikings and stuff. But now you could also, go up market or to a completely different town.
Oh my gosh!
Or you could revisit a town you've visited 20 years on. Yeah, there's Xena. And but if you don't want, that's kind of a watchtower. But if you'd like it to be more of a wizard's tower, then you just grab one of these. That goes on there. And then we've done something extra with this, where I'll just get some space here. If you grab one of these dungeon bases, put the ruins down. There you go. You stick that there.
Okay.
So, this is right, you're right. Now, this is a thatched hut that can just go on the ground like that.
Yeah.
Or you can get kind of a bit of a Edoras horseman look to it, and you can stick it on there like that. Or you could use it on this house here and put it like that.
Or that can go on to here.
Now this can go on there like this.
Johnny, this is
And this can go on this like this. And so suddenly what was the local tavern is now the chieftain's or the thrain's hut. And then if you want to go up market again, just grab one of these.
Whoa!
And so it works this way as well. So the idea is you can remake your town every single time without it feeling like, oh, we're going to the same town.
Right.
So if you're playing like a role-playing quest, and your DMs, it's like, you'll need to go out of town for this information or something. Yeah. You can, with the same pieces that
he can immediately set this up, and it's not something you've seen before. You feel immersed in something different.
And that way, you're maximizing on the time you put into painting these things. And so we've scanned all of these with high-tech film quality technology, while they're actually in color as well. And so every single one of these is now fully 3D printable. and we're launching it very soon on Kickstarter. Just basically because I made this for myself anyway, but we found a way to, but anyone can really affordably do this.
So thrilling.
If you brought that at a shop, it might be $80, but I don't know, it's like 80 cents to a couple of dollars. Material if you print it yourself at home, and then you can see how lightweight it's going to be, and
you can have so much fun painting this.
Yeah.
You can paint it in any way that you want.
And I painted these with house paints. I mean, you go to a Home Depot and there's all the color range. That was my favorite part of this process, was choosing a consistent color palette for Hagglethorn Hollow and going, right, that's tiles, that's walls, that's bricks. And I went up with these cards and I got, for $5 a pot, I just said, make me a test pot of that, and all of this is painted with house paint, and then I put wood stain wash over it, which ages it. And me and my wife and some friends would sit at home with Netflix on the background, and I'd get everyone to paint the individual bricks. Every fifth brick, can you just paint that? So I save and then also I've got some pieces over here.
I love that you painted it with house paint. That's brilliant.
Well, and it was so affordable, and it's so durable. It's not going to scratch off.
No.
Because if I did it with model paint, several grand, I imagine. Yeah. It'd probably cost me $45 of paint.
Exactly.
And again, if you want this wall to work for that, because you can completely separate thatched as a town to tile, or what you can do is show that there's a class system in your town.
Right.
So you've got to pay to live behind the wall, and the peasants have to live close to the haunted swamp without protection or something like that. But if you want this to be for that, great. If you don't, you just stick one of those on it, and now it's more ancient and rustic and stuff like that. And so yeah, every one of the, also the way I've sculpted them as well. You get in there like that.
You get an inside and an out.
I've tried to make sure every single angle looks like a different house. So when you print out 4 and stick them on a table, it doesn't just look like Age of Empires copy and paste.
House. Oh, that's great.
And because I got to sculpt them as large objects as opposed to just modular kind of pieces you clip together, I was able to tackle what I really wanted to see in this range, which was a lot of asymmetry and a lot of really leaning over walls and kind of broken, or like I wanted it to feel ancient, but at the same time, I avoided putting anything like Tudor beams in, because I wanted you to be able to play this, whatever fantasy campaign, and feel like it predates the 14th century or something like that.
Right.
Like imagine, so this could be, if you're a Lord of the Rings gamer, this could be Bree or Rohan, or it could be anything that's in your Pathfinder campaign and stuff like that, was the idea.
I mean, it's like you've created a system that allows the messiness of the natural world to be put into buildings. You can assemble them in the same way that the trees all look exactly like they belong there. Each building looks exactly like it belongs there, no matter how you put it together.
That's right. And that goes there as well, yeah. Or on this tower over here. So if you want to, oh no, where is it? There's some tower somewhere it goes. So I tried to make sure. Oh, here it is. This one. I'm getting lost myself. And these are all these are the prototypes. We're sharpening them up even more for a product and stuff. But as I say, it was a project of love. So that I could have a broad range of stuff to play with, but because I work in a place with lots of technology, we've been able to use the highest end scanning available.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then, like you said, modular-wise, as a follow-up to the Labyrinth thing, all I've got to do here is plug out the forest here or there, and there's Hoggle's Gate.
Oh, right. And it's then, just, again, it's still just modular.
And you can see how I've made, so I went to some expense to, everything is hand sculpted in plasticine. Yeah. Because I really wanted it to feel sculptural, and I also really wanted to get that detail in, and I wanted to avoid a lot of the 3D terrain that's made in ZBrush that just has kind of a stamp of bricks on it. Yeah. I wanted every brick to be considered and have a gravity and to be weighing in on the next one. Because I'm a glutton for punishment. and so we molded and cast, and so this is going to be the hedge maze, and this is the wise man's bit here, but in case you do fall into the oubliette, I've made that removable there. And this is the tunnel where the cleaners go through.
So beautiful.
But in this box, there's I thought you'd get a kick out of this, because this is, if this is a feasible thing and people are into it, then we'll do further products and campaigns and stuff. So I've been, I couldn't wait to start the next one, and so I've already started working on a modular castle system that you can put together as a dungeon, or you can stack in different ways like that. But if you put this down like that, I'm also working out a way, because I want to do a campaign where you go to Smuggler's Cove, but I want to replay the Legacy Star Wars trilogy, but in medieval fantasy. So I'm building a castle version of the Millennium Falcon as well. So like, Chewbacca's going to be a Viking and Han's a pirate, and there's going to be wooden walkways and like a tree growing out here that's the cockpit and stuff like that.
Totally. Oh my God.
Because it's already a medieval fantasy. There's just a couple ray guns.
You just have to pencil me in. I'm going to buy one of those.
I'll send you one.
Got to go, please. It's amazing. I'm a Millennium Falcon obsessed.
Yeah, me too. It's the greatest ship ever. Yeah, my second favorite ship is the one in that Aardman Pirates movie that's just cobbled together at other ships.
It's so beautiful. I also love I love the pirate ship from Time Bandits.
Yeah, yeah.
The one on the giant's head.
Yeah. That's a cosplay for you Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I gain a lot of weight.
Yeah. That's the funnest part of doing the costume.
Right, I'm just eating lots of pasta.
Yeah.
Pasta, as you would say.
Yeah, pasta.
Johnny, this is, I'm gobsmacked, as you would say.
I'm just really happy to share it with you.
It's so inspiring. It makes me, just seeing this makes me want to cast and sculpt and paint.
Well, you won't need to do the sculpting part because all you've got to do is press print now.
Oh my gosh! Well,
the files are going to be accessible this year, and
as soon as those go up, we will trumpet them on Tested. I'll put them out through my Twitter feed. I love supporting exactly this kind of thing, and you really you've opened it up so that gamers could have a different adventure every single time.
Well, it's so much fun. I just anything that kind of gets. I love storytelling, you know, and but I'm also. I really admire anyone that can sit there on a role-playing campaign with just pen and paper and do it in their heads. I've done that and I loved it as well, but I'm also a model maker and a sculptor and stuff. And I've sat in those campaigns, and every time they say, you go into the tavern and the bartender gives you a silly look, it's like, I can make that. It's like, wouldn't it be better if we were playing with it? Because I'm very tactile.
Yeah.
And so I started making one building, which became 4 buildings, which became modular buildings, and yeah.
Johnny, thank you so much for showing me and giving me this window, literally, into an entirely different world that could be different every single time.
Thank you, yeah.
I can't wait
to see. It's a thrill to share it with you.
I can't wait to see how much more you expand it.
It's probably, I've got the bug now, and this was meant to be a little bit of Labyrinth in one building, and so I think
clearly
next time you're out, it'll be 3 more this way, I think.
Yeah, if you did this in 18 months, you're on a roll.
Yeah, yeah.